Alright, big doings in the shop today. Today I'm going to fabricate the pieces for the trunk. The old sable hood isn't going to quite fill the gaps, so I'm going to have to piece it in with this other piece of steel on the outsides. I was going to just run it over to here, to this section here, but it's so scabby I'm just going to do the whole damn thing. Stupid phone. But I'm going to cut all the pieces and then put the jigsaw puzzle together before I fasten it all down. But first I got to get the car turned around and get my Mad Max gas tank out and a couple other things. Because sooner or later I'm going to have the welder at it. I'd like to take a minute to talk about YouTube and what I call the video gulag. It's all based on likes. It isn't how many views you get, it's how many likes you get as opposed to how many views you have. And if you can't break 35%, 40%, you'll never get out of what I call the video gulag. And in order for that to happen, subscribers have to hit the like button. Because you'll never make it out, or will never make it out into the mainstream unless views to likes are within their parameters for what a likable channel is, and then you have maybe a slight possibility of getting out in the real mainstream. So let's see what we get for a cold start here. It's probably not going to go very well, but we'll give it a shot. Still isn't tuned up for the road, because every time I drive an unregistered car, I end up getting a ticket. So I'm going to get it all as close as I can, and then tune it up after I finally get some plates on it. Well, that went a little better than I thought it would, so that's a good start for the day. Alright, it's going to be the last time I'm going to hear it run for a while, because I got to take the tank out. Just the way it is. hopefully that's just the exhaust banging a little bit. If not, we're in deep shit. Alright, apparently it's just bouncing around on the motor mounts a little bit. Some genius forgot to tighten them up all the way. Alright, first thing we got to do is get the Mad Max gas tank out of there so I can figure out where all the panels should start and stop. And it's already leaking, so it should probably come out anyway. Well, it timed that out pretty good. It was almost out of gas. If anybody happens to have a J-body gas tank sitting around, let me know in the comments. Let's make a deal. Well, it's about like I remembered. Looks like I can cut it just below that seam there, clean it all out, and we'll have a nice stable hole. I'm not going to do that till after I get the pieces made. I'm just going to set them in where they need to go and have them roughly fitted, and I can trim them to fit perfect before I do the final install. It just occurred to me that I spent a lot of time working on this car on holidays, but that's alright. If I had a least favorite holiday, I'd have to say that it was Mother's Day. But when you were spoken to the way that I was and discouraged the way that I was when I was a kid, it'd probably be your least favorite holiday too. Yeah, words of encouragement weren't really the norm when I was a kid. Words like stupid and dummy, yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have heard Mom say that. When she starts throwing around, you're worthless, you're a waste of human flesh, and I wish you were never born, that might be going just a bit too far. Personally, the I wish you were never born part was probably the hardest thing to take. There's nothing to make a little kid feel more unloved or unwanted than Mom saying something like that on a consistent basis. But that's the way it was for years and years. And eventually, at least wise according to my experience, when Mom says it enough times, you start believing you're stupid. You start believing you're worthless. And you definitely start believing that she don't want you around, that she never wanted to see your face in the first damn place. What I didn't really understand then is that there was a lot of stress in the house. And it made my mom and my sister kind of crazy. And what Mom did on the psychological side, my sister did on the physical side. She would quite literally turn up the radio, full blast, put on Fog Hat Slow Ride, and proceed to beat my ass on a regular basis. I never understood why back then, but I do now. And when I got good at taking the beatings, and it took a while, you could hit me with a coat hanger in the back and I'd hardly react, even to this day. She moved on to the biggest knife in the butcher block, and just for added terror, she'd drag it down the wall of the hallway when the music wasn't up loud. To this day, I get a little chill whenever a big knife is drawn out of the butcher block and makes that sound. I've heard of sibling rivalry, but that was ridiculous. That wasn't sibling rivalry. That was terrorism. But even as a kid, eventually you can get used to the idea that you could be taken out any day. That your life could suddenly be ended through, well, not of your own choice. But when mom says those things on a regular basis, at the minimum of 3 times a week, that can really wear on you. Physical pain, who cares? But outside scars, they heal relatively quickly. It's the ones on the inside that can take a lifetime to heal. I asked mom quite a few years later what was up with all that. And you know what she said to me? She said, Eric, I don't remember saying those things to you. She might as well have said every damn one of them all over again at one time. And she said that. So nope, I'm not too hot on Mother's Day. Or any other holiday for that matter. Because on the holidays, I was forced to live a lie and pretend that everything was okay, when most definitely everything was not okay. And it took a lot of figuring, just like it has to try to figure out what's going on behind the scenes with the government. But eventually I figured it out. And the cold, hard reality of it is, it wasn't my mom or my sister's fault that they acted that way. They had a choice to do so, but the stress in their lives kind of forced them into it. And I understand that. I get it. But that doesn't change it. And that doesn't make it okay.